James Gunn is revealing more about his DC universe, including a fact about the timeline that may tease a major villain. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Marvel Studios had a specific plan from the start, kicking off its franchise with Iron Man, which saw Tony Stark become a hero and then learn more about the amazing world he lived in, read more about the characters who wore the Iron Man armor in the MCU. To avoid any comparisons, Gunn is taking a different approach. Earth's residents in Superman have known about metahumans for 300 years, viewing them more like celebrities than terrifying beings that can do harm to them. It will give Superman a different feel, with the Man of Steel having to find his place in a world with an impressive roster of heroes. However, there may be more to it than that, as the idea of metahumans being in the public eye for hundreds of years is a specific one. James Gunn is finally dropping nuggets about his DC universe ahead of the release of Superman, including an important date on the timeline that could reveal who the franchise's heroes will face off against at the end of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Before taking over the DCU, Gunn's only experience with comic book characters came while playing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe sandbox. That probably seems like a stretch, but a major DC villain gained incredible power tens of thousands of years before modern times and spent most of his life plotting and scheming behind the scenes. And if he's active in the DCU, it's not going to mean good things for Superman and company. Gunn isn't saying that they showed up on Earth 300 years ago, but that humanity became aware of them then. That means it's safe to assume that they've been around much longer than that, possibly as far back as prehistoric times. Savage wore many hats, including being a pharaoh, a pirate, and a king. No matter where he hung up his coat, though, he would leave devastation in his wake. By the Golden Age, heroes in the DC universe were getting wise to Savage's schemes and challenged him. He battled the Justice Society of America in the 1940s and later found himself at odds with the Justice League. After interacting with a meteorite, Vandal Savage became immortal. He realized that, by acquiring skills and information, he could influence events around the world and benefit himself. That sort of villain is exactly what the DCU needs to stand out against its competitors. Gunn can mold Savage into anyone he wants and have him be part of every major event in the franchise before unleashing him fully. However, the thing Savage really has going for him is that, unlike Darkseid and Lex Luthor, there's almost no baggage. A good number of DC villains have already been done on the big screen, and in most cases, they failed to hit the mark. Savage, on the other hand, only has one major live-action appearance under his belt. He tormented the heroes of the Arrowverse during the Heroes Join Forces crossover before making the jump to the first season of Legends of Tomorrow, but that was nearly a decade ago, and it wasn't like the CW's version of the character was anything to write home about. While the villain didn't possess Superman's strength or Flash's speed, his centuries of knowledge gave him an edge. It also helped that he was proficient in just about every form of combat. The villain story in the Arrowverse focused on his pursuit of Hawkgirl and Hawkman, which started hundreds of years ago. There wasn't much more to it than that, though, meaning there are plenty of notable comic book stories to draw inspiration from that have yet to be touched in live action. DC Studios continues to weave the web between projects in the rebooted DCU. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The DC Cinematic Universe, DCU, has only just begun with the release of Creature Commandos and the upcoming Superman, but DC Studios is already laying the groundwork for its interconnected universe. Co-studio head James Gunn made it clear his DCU will do some things differently from the current MCU. Still, both franchises aim to create a range of superhero projects that link together into a cohesive universe, which involves planning these links well ahead of time. The Wonder Woman-adjacent television series Paradise Lost was one of the initial DCU projects in James Gunn and Peter Safran's Gods and Monsters slate. The series is focused on the origins and culture of Themyscira, the mythical all-female island from which Diana Prince hails. Gunn confirmed to Entertainment Weekly that Paradise Lost and the upcoming Wonder Woman movie would be separate things, but that they're connected. A new Wonder Woman movie was only just confirmed to be in development, so it's unclear how intertwined the two projects will be, but it's a safe bet that Themyscira will be a link between both. DC Studios already laid out how some of its projects will connect, whether that be through a certain character appearing in multiple DC films or series or a story event linking these disparate titles together. With a second season of Creature Commandos confirmed, it will no doubt continue to be a launchpad for DCU characters and connections across the wider superhero universe. Creature Commandos and its ragtag team of monster heroes already have fingers in several DCU pies thanks to its inclusion of characters like Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., who has a role in both Superman and Peacemaker Season 2. Viola Davis also returns to voice Argus director Amanda Waller in the animated show, who was responsible for assembling the Suicide Squad in the old DCU, and Gunn's sequel The Suicide Squad, and commissions the Creature Commandos team. Several Superman actors have been confirmed for appearances in Peacemaker's second season, including Isabella Merced, Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern, and Sean Gunn, Maxwell Lord. Superman is also heavily rumored to feature a cameo from Millie Alcock's Supergirl film, which will tie the two Kryptonian heroes' stories together. Superman hits theaters on July 11, 2025. Superman is the first live-action film in the rebooted DCU and, as such, is one of the essential tethers in the superhero universe. The appearance of Rick Flag Sr., Frank Grillo, in the film connects the movie to Creature Commandos, but perhaps more relevant is how Superman will connect to the next DCU project, Peacemaker Season 2. In Season 1, Peacemaker followed on from the events of the Suicide Squad, and saw Peacemaker team up with Amanda Waller's daughter Leota, Danielle Brooks, to stop an intergalactic invasion. Season 2 of the show will follow the events of Superman, introducing Frank Grillo Sr. to the story and some of Superman's Justice Gang characters. Releasing its second season on August 21, 2025, on HBO Max, Peacemaker is a unique project that existed in both the old DCU and the new one, and as a result, will bridge both superhero franchises. After being introduced in the Suicide Squad, John Cena's non-traditional hero gained enough popularity to earn his own show. While audiences will meet Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, aka Green Lantern, in Superman First, he is far from the only man to carry the moniker, which will be explored in the HBO series Lanterns. The next major film release after Superman will follow the Kryptonian's cousin, Supergirl. Landing on June 26, 2026, the movie is directed by Craig Gillespie and stars Alcock as Supergirl in an adventure that features Jason Momoa's Lobo. Regarding crossover material, Supergirl is likely to connect in some ways to Superman's events, just because the two characters are family. However, a cameo from David Corenswet's hero or another Superman character isn't unlikely, particularly if Alcock makes an appearance in his solo film first. Additionally, Supergirl is expected to include Superman's dog, Krypto, who features in both stories. Another TV show included in the Chapter 1 slate for the DCU is Waller, a solo series starring Viola Davis's Argus director. The series is supposedly directly connected to Peacemaker and will explore Waller's relationship with her Argus team members, particularly her daughter, Leota. However, it's unclear where the series stands right now. A report indicates that Waller is one of several DCU projects facing problems in development. These projects are far from the only ones DC Studios has in development at the moment. However, these are the ones that have confirmed connections to other DCU projects. Lanterns features other famous DC Comics Green Lanterns like Hal Jordan, Kyle Chandler, and Jon Stewart, Aaron Pierre. Guy Gardner will be the main